Happy Halloween!
Woohoo!
Today we are going to talk about murders and true crimes that have happened on Halloween.
Yes.
So today is the spookiest day of them all. It's my favorite.
Okay.
What's your favorite part about Halloween?
Dressing up. Like going out.
Do you like to go trick-or-treating?
Yeah, I like the candy.
I still trick-or-treat because everybody thinks I'm 12. I love dressing up. So hopefully you enjoyed all of our Halloween episodes. Tell us how much you like it in the comments and join Patreon because we have some extra footage and behind the scenes and some very entertaining stuff on there.
And while you're at it, click that like button and subscribe. Like,
yeah, if you're not here to subscribe, what are you doing?
just at least click the like button. Like, thumbs up. Thanks, man.
Okay, so let's talk about crimes on Halloween. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I named them. The first one is called Candyman. This was October 31st, 1974. After trick-or-treating, 8-year-old Timothy O'Brien and his sister were allowed to have one piece of candy before they go to bed. Timothy chose a pixie stick. And I'm thinking, I don't know what kind of pixie sticks they had back in 1974. I don't know if they were tiny ones, but I'm thinking a pixie stick. Huge pixie stick. Timothy ripped it open, dumped it in his mouth. Almost instantly, he became violently ill after pouring the pixie stick in his mouth. He started vomiting, had abdominal cramps, dizziness, along with other symptoms. He was rushed to the hospital, but died on the way there.
Ooh.
Timothy died from cyanide poisoning.
Cyanide poisoning is crazy.
Ronald O'Brien, Timothy's dad, is a person who altered the pixie stick, filling the top 2 inches with cyanide. Now, that's why I said it. I think it's a big pixie stick because 2 inches is a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of pixie goes in those 2 inches. He made 3 of them. One for Timothy, one for his sister, and one for a neighbor kid. He did that to make it look like they got it from another house. To make things even worse, he watched as Timothy ate the poison. The motive was money. Ronald had a life insurance policy taken out on both of his children. He was found guilty and sentenced to death by lethal injection.
Okay, great.
This is why we're told to inspect candy before eating it. At least this is the one thing. There's another story in here I have why you should be inspecting candy.
Okay. Razor blades and them Kit Kats, bro.
You know, I don't think I've ever found altered candy in your candy.
I found suspicious candy.
Like stuff that's been open.
Yeah.
And then there was this whole thing where it went around where it's like they were put in like ecstasy pills.
In Smarties.
Yeah, something like that. But like who would waste that money? Like I would assume those would be expensive. Who would to make kids go on trips?
Hey, I'm willing.
I have another one called Up in Smoke. There are many reports of costumes catching on fire throughout the years. In 2004, a 7-year-old was engulfed in flames after the Lord of the Rings costume caught fire. The costume had mess face, which melted to the child immediately. In 2014, an 8-year-old girl got badly burned when her costume brushed up against a candle while they were trick-or-treating. I think it was in a pumpkin.
Oh, wow.
Her mother said that it was nothing like she's ever seen. The fire would not go out. And the costume just melted to her skin. Her tights melted to her skin.
I'm throwing the child on the ground, beating it on the ground, like...
Yeah, just like...
I just...
And they said it went up so instantly, like, they didn't really compute what was going on at first.
I don't know what to do. Throw the pumpkin at her or something, like...
Yeah, and it's like when you're trying to put out this type of fire, because it's like mostly plastics and like flammable stuff, it was so hard to put out. And I found something interesting out. I don't know if that many people know this. There's a lack of regulations on Halloween costumes because they're classified as toys and not clothing. So a lot of your clothing cannot be flammable. It has to be made of a certain material. Costumes can be made of whatever because it's considered a toy and not clothing.
Love that.
I know. I remember when I was younger in like 97, like that was like a big thing of like watching TV, like look how fast this costume erupts in flames, and just like I don't want my costume to explode in flames. Do you want to start on the story or you want me to go on to my next one?
Go on to your next one.
Trick, no treat. Okay, Halloween 1957 in Sunnyvale, California.
Woohoo.
Peter Fabiano, I don't know, something like that. Peter, 35, was in bed with his wife just after 11 p.m. The doorbell rang. Peter was a little annoyed, thinking like, what's trick-or-treaters doing here so late? He got up to go answer it. He opened the door to what looked like a trick-or-treater, but this trick-or-treater was taller than most and had like a grotesque face paint on, had a domino mask, which I don't know what that is, but I'm going to try to find a picture of it. They were wearing men's clothes, blue jeans, khaki jacket, red gloves, and held up a paper bag. Peter said, "It's a little late to be trick-or-treating, isn't it?" The trick-or-treater answered, "No." Then shot Peter with a gun that was concealed in the bag. His wife heard the shot and she ran down to the door. The killer already fled by the time she got there. So Peter ended up dying from his gunshot wound. I don't know exactly where he was shot. So to find the killer, let's talk a little bit about their lives. Peter and Betty, they owned a beauty salon. Here Betty met her friend named Joan. They became close friends. Betty confided in Joan about her life. Betty told Joan about Peter being abusive and controlling. Joan became obsessed about getting Betty out of this situation. Trying to figure out, like, let's just leave, I'll take you with me, and just different scenarios on how to get Betty away from Peter. Meanwhile, Joan met, the best name ever is Golden, and it's spelled Goldyne. Such like a old name. Anyway, their relationship described as coffee clash friends.
Okay.
I'm assuming they were friends for about, I think they said 3 years, but in a 3-month period, they were talking about Betty and her situation. They talked about how evil Peter was, and Joan eventually taught Golden to becoming an unpaid hit woman. And Joan would be the getaway driver. So that's what happened. Golden is the one that shot Pete, and Joan drove the car.
Okay.
So after the shooting, Golden flees the scene, gets in the car with Joan. Joan drove Golden home. The last thing Joan said to Golden was, "Forget you ever knew me," and then drove away. Golden's a little naive and like kind of like not really, there's no common sense in this lady. So she was never instructed on how to get rid of the gun. So the next day she dumped it in a storage locker across from the famous Clifton's cafeteria. Gotta Google that and put a picture up of that one too. 2 weeks later, detectives got an anonymous tip that led them to the gun and the arrest of the 43-year-old Golden and her 40-year-old friend Joan.
Oh, wow.
Both women pled guilty and was sentenced to 5 years to life in prison. It's not known how long they were in prison for. The motive was Joan wanted to get close to Betty. It was never confirmed, but it seemed like Joan wanted a romantic relationship with Betty. Peter saw this and told Betty to end their relationship, and which Betty did. She stopped talking to Joan right before the shooting. So Betty never remarried. She died in 1999. Golden was released and died in 1998, and I could not find anything about Joan.
Okay.
So, and honestly, I think, yeah, Joan was gay and she wanted to be with Betty. Basically, that's how it looks like it was.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna shoot her, or we're gonna get rid of her husband. We're gonna live happily ever after.
Right, and you're gonna come with me and leave.
Okay, the last little story I have is called The Dentist. October 31st, 1959. After a long night of trick-or-treating, the children of Fremont, California, I feel like all the bad shit happens in California.
Yeah, for sure.
California and Ohio. They're both like murder states of the world. Anyway, the children of Fremont, California went back to their homes to enjoy candy. As the kids were eating the candy, some parents noticed sugar-coated white pills at the bottom of the children's bags. The parents were alarmed and dumped the bags out, only to find there were pills in every single bag. The parents immediately took matters into their own hands and had the older kids go trick-or-treat in the area that they suspected that they were getting the pills from. They narrowed it down to Norris Road, specifically a certain house. The house of William Shin, DDS, dentist. The parents ended up calling the police, and Shin was arrested. The sugar-coated pills the dentist handed out were aloe pills, also were used for laxatives. 30 kids got violently ill. One kid was sent to the hospital. All kids ended the night with clean colons.
That's great.
He handed out handfuls of pills. A normal adult, the dosage was 2 pills. In total, he handed out 450 pills. The dentist was charged with outrage of public decency and unlawful distribution of drugs.
Okay.
He got 6 months suspended sentence, so he didn't have to do a sentence, 2 years probation, and a $525 fine.
Interesting.
So this was the first report that anybody has ever tampered with candy. And then, because this was in 59.
Bro didn't get tampered with candy. He gave them pills.
Well, he covered it in sugar. He covered it in sugar and passed it out like candy. So kids thought it were like gumdrops or something and ate it.
Yeah.
So that was in 59, and then the guy that killed his son with cyanide was in 74. So always check your candy. Always make sure your clothes are not flammable. What was the other one? Don't answer the door after 11 p.m. on a Halloween night. I just made that one up. Okay, what do you got?
It's not as detailed as yours, but okay. So there's this 55-year-old man that couldn't find his sack of candy that had Hershey's and Jolly Ranchers in it. And he accused his partner of stealing the candy, like his wife. She got upset and threw a plate at his head. Then he picked up a knife and stabbed her repeatedly. She died in the hospital, and he got 30 years in prison.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think he ever found a stack of candy.
Like, okay, so do you think he misplaced it, or do you think... Like, I think I might go crazy over somebody stealing my candy.
A 55-year-old man, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Like, come on, if somebody's like, you're like, I got a whole sack of Reese's and rainbow strips and sour stuff or whatever you eat. And somebody, and let's say I took it. You're like, where's my candy?
Come on.
One
time,
she got mad at her brother.
Why?
Over candy. It was Christmas candy. And she got mad and smacked him in the head with the big, thick candy canes. And it busted everywhere. Why? Because...
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
You busted him in the head with a candy cane.
I do not remember that.
And it's not the small thin ones. It's the big, thick ones from the dollar store.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember that. I blacked out. That's how angry I was.
You got so mad because I think that he took one of the candies out of your
It's probably something good.
your stocking.
Like,
And you're like, don't touch my candy. And you guys started arguing. You were like 6, 7 years old.
yes, Mom, that's why I
And he
don't
was
remember
like
it.
3.
3 is crazy.
Something like 3 or 4, somewhere around there. And you bust him in the head with a big candy cane.
Ooh.
All right, go ahead. Next one.
Okay, so the next one, it's like about an Ohio family. So this teen, he just went out to go party and go to a haunted house, like on Halloween. And he came back and his family was slaughtered. The only suspect was his older schizophrenic 24-year-old stepbrother. He confessed to the murder.
Which one?
The schizophrenic one.
Okay.
Because he was the only suspect. He confessed. He shot the father 5 times, beat the older brother with a sledgehammer, and raped and killed the stepmom.
Jesus Christ.
And he killed himself in 2015. This happened in 2010. So. Then the last one. Wow. Which is the Toolbox Killer's last victim. I don't know. I think it's Shirley. I don't know her last name.
So in one of our future episodes after this one, I go in great detail about the Toolbox Killers. It gets very awkward. It's going to be
Viewer discretion advised.
very, and 18 and older, I think, to watch it. So go ahead and just introduce us to this.
Vaguely describe.
Yeah, I think her name was
happened.
Shirley.
So she was a 16-year-old female. I don't know. I don't remember where this all happened, but
California.
Okay. She was on her way home, and she saw these 2 men in a van, and she recognized them from her workplace. So and they were like, "Hey, let me take you home." She was like, "Yeah, take me home." She unfortunately did not make it home. So they kidnapped her and did a lot of horrible things. Very bad things. Like, they hit her in the elbow repeatedly, 25 times. Repeatedly. And this is all on tape recording. It's all heard on a tape recorder. That's crazy. Bro. Sorry.
This one
really.
When I was talking about the Toolbox Killers, all the girls were between the ages of 12 and 18. I think 18. Mm-hmm. So it just hits home because it's her age range, especially the last one.
Yes, like, oh my gosh, she was.
And the guys were closer to my age.
37 years old, 40 years old. Like, grown men kidnapping children. Okay.
So yeah, that one is one of the, I think, the most disturbing murders on Halloween.
Mm-hmm. They mutilated her body and then left her out in the town. And was like,
"Catch me if you can, police officer man."
They definitely caught them. But it could have been prevented. Do better.
Yeah. When I go through the story, there's a lot of... They were in police custody so many times, somebody should have stopped them.
Right.
But yeah, that one is horrific.
It's a lot. Rest in peace.
So let's talk more about Halloween.
Let's
line up a little bit. So have you... I know you're 17, and I know you've been out with your friends on Halloween. Have you done anything like egging or TPing or anything like that with your friends?
Yeah, I've totally TP'd somebody's house.
Have you TP'd somebody's house?
Yeah.
That's cool. I haven't.
You haven't? Have you egged anybody's house?
No, I have not egged anybody's house. I actually, honestly, when I was younger, we, at least when I was younger,
got a little bit of decorum.
If the porch light was on, you go knock on the door and say trick or treat. Nobody was really outside. Everybody was inside. So you had to go door to door and knock on everybody's door.
Yeah, that's like kidnapping.
And you would stay out till like 10 o'clock at night.
And party.
Trick or treating. No, trick or treating.
Right.
And it's just like, I got scared. Like once it started going down and not so many kids are out and you're making your way back home because you walk so far trying to get all these good houses because mom wouldn't come drive you to a good area. It got scary. Like it's like I want to get back inside. It's just it has like an eerie feel to it when you're walking down the street with your sack of candy and it's like there's nobody else out.
On Halloween, that's scary. I'm gonna be out on Halloween though, so
I'm probably passing out candy this year.
I'm definitely finna egg somebody's car. Not the house, not the house. The car is specific, bro. They'll take that to heart.
Yeah, I've never done TP at anybody's house. I've never egged anybody's house. I've done trick-or-treating. I've never really sat there and passed out candy the whole night. I've always left to go trick-or-treating. But I've always had children's, too. I've ding-dong ditched. Okay. I have ding-dong ditched. That was fun. I've never lit a bag of dog poo.
Oh my gosh, on the porch.
On the porch, I've never done that. Have you?
No. No, I feel like if somebody did that to me, I would be really upset.
Well, yeah. You stomp it out. The only thing I could think of is Billy Madison.
Yes, bro. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Oh, it's poo again!
Again is crazy. Well.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
I do not.
Happy Halloween.
So happy Halloween. See you next time. Bye.